Welcome back to Aircel Chennai Speaks Out. And in this segment, we're going to talk amongst ourselves about whether our audience and the people who are here are actually okay with reality being depicted. Let me ask you, Ram. Now, tsunami, bus burning, 9/11, 26/11. Let's start by asking you, what do you think now about, we know that different channels depicted these things differently. What's the other way one could actually do it? I mean, a 9/11 or a 26/11 or a bus burning, how would you actually show it?
Yeah, I think trying to be too censorious or ultra cautious is not the answer. You just got to exercise good judgment and good taste. And these change over the years, over the decades. So I think you got to depict them as they happened and in a free way. And also recognize that there are different ways of doing it. And not object, not be too opinionated about this is right and this is wrong. But overall, it should not be exploitated. The coverage should not be, which is why I raised the question of, is there an appetite out there, not just for violence in films, but for in all forms of media, including newspapers.
Okay.
Do violent newspapers sell more than others? This is a troubling question.
Right. Shall we go back to our audience and ask them, Vasant, once again, the appetite, what's the appetite out here to see stuff like this?
Personally, I've met with an accident few years back. So early morning, if I see an accident and if the picture has blood in it, I get upset. And not only me, my parents, they get upset, my siblings, yes. So I definitely would appreciate if print medium can take up to switching over to black and white while printing bloodshed pictures.
Right.
Then one more thing is, I would like to compliment Vasant sir. He said he was asking about the commercial movies. Like, people are asking him, when are you going to do a commercial movie? Let me tell you one thing, sir. I would like to watch Keladi Kanmani a million times, but not today's Pokiri or Villu.
By the way, do you wear a helmet?
Yes, I do.
Not while watching Keladi Kanmani.
Okay, no, so I'd like to ask now, Mr. Balaji out here. Now, you teach students. You know, he runs the SRM Film Institute, and I'd like to know, what would you be actually teaching your students? These are the future filmmakers, possibly television people. What is the message you would give them?
Yeah, I would like to put that most of my film classes that I show the films to students, we only go for classics, like as Sarah's put it. We show classics, but I don't say that violence is not required for films. For films like Deva Magan, it is absolutely required. To show what is non-violence, you require to show violence in that. But to what extent? To what extent you have to show? It depends upon the individuals. You have a sensor in your mind. Show to that level. See, what I try to say is, violence starts from very young age. Children are watching cartoons. Can you tell me there is any cartoon without violence? Most of the cartoons show violence. So it starts from the young age.
So Tom is often pulling Jerry, or Jerry is pulling Tom by his hair.
No, I can tell one example. Right? No, suppose some mosquito bites us, you just check, no, everyone will use our hand like this. There it starts. Everybody has got violence in ourselves.
Actually, we see media. I advocate violence being shown in the media. One simple reason: we all saw a small young girl being molested in public on the television some time back. Okay, it is something which is not to be seen. But if you don't get angry, you're not going to react, and there isn't going to be any reaction from anybody, because it happened. Excuse me, let me finish. It happened in a remote place. Okay, where she does not have access to any media or any public. Okay, it was highlighted because there was media there. It was brought to the public. The inspectors or everybody were suspended. There was a specific incident. Somebody has to correct me if I am wrong. Even the spectators were to be booked if there was a discussion on the media, on all the channels, that the spectators have to be booked if they don't react to such situations.
Right. Mr. Murli, you are in charge of a fan club association, a fan association. What do your fans want from gentlemen like Vasant and Madhumita and the critics here, the film critics as well?
We want, accountability to the society. That is want. So the people should be passionate in reporting and producing. But here, passion with compassion. We must have empathy towards the society, not apathy. So when we do a media also, sensational, fair reporting is required for the sale. Now sensationalism is linked to sales, definitely. But at the same time, factual reporting should not be compromised for communal amity. What happens if there is two communities clashing? You want to project the correct picture to the viewers. Sometimes it will flare up. The society's interest will be affected. There, the reporting is subservient to the society's interest. The macro picture to be seen. So that is as far as media is concerned. Same way like film. What is the positive impact, proactive, result-oriented impact it creates on the society? Whether we'll be able to watch the producer or the director, will be able to see the movie with a daughter, son, parents. Whether what type of course, he is coming here not to preach, but then you see Vetayadu Vilayadu. It has got a gripping. How investigation process to be done. Like that Thanga Padakam, Shivaji, a duty officer, duty conscious officer.
Right. Sir, I'd like to ask this gentleman here, Anand, you are an actor. Are you okay when you have to go before a director like this, and have you any conscience at all when you do a really violent scene?
No, it wouldn't matter to me, quite simply because I'm a professional doing a job. I shouldn't have an opinion at that point because...
So for you it's a question of getting your money and that's it?
No. It's not as simple as that.
Really?
The point is this. We look at filmmakers, media as a monolith. It isn't so. When I sign up to work on a film with Mr. Vasant, I know what kind of a filmmaker he is. So therefore, I know what he would ask me to do.
Right, yeah, but I'd like to ask your mother what she felt, what she would feel if she saw you being actually killed in a film, for instance.
Well, I have been killed in a film before, and I don't...
But you're here, that's fine.
I don't think she would mind too much because she let me do that movie. Quite simply because, again, to get back to my point, we know who we work with. So therefore, we trust how that would be depicted. I wouldn't go and read the Hindu if I was interested in seeing gory images, because I know what the Hindu offers.
Very nice point.
I wouldn't watch NDTV if I wanted to watch a particular depiction of news. I would go watch some other channel. Mr. Ram was asking about whether there is an appetite for violence. Yeah, there probably is, and there is already somebody catering to that. So that's taken care of. For those of us who do not have an appetite for violence, well, you have other avenues. We can watch Mr. Vasant's film.
Yeah, I would say there are two types of how we see the virus. Let us take the tsunami case. I feel like donating my money, I would like to help. Even when it is livelihood, I know it is disaster. I see people screaming for help. I don't mind giving whatever I want. But when I see some kind of other violence, I feel I need not see that. Because when I see something, I get irritated. Hey, every day I'm getting the same boring things. When I'll be getting a new thing which can make it. So I immediately go for the comedy channel. So what happens is it has a both impact on the society in terms of contribution, in terms of development, in terms of awareness. At the same time, it has a negative effect in terms of a subconscious level. You've been conditioned.
Right. Let's hear what Sudesh has to say.
I think everybody has an appetite for violence. Some of us don't realize it. The fact that he said that he doesn't want to, how can we explain the angry young man, Amitabh Bachchan or Rajnikant being celebrated? Because everybody, violence could be cathartic. When there's injustice, you want to hit out. Yeah. And it would be far more dangerous if we didn't have films where we have a messiah of the masses representing this angst or anger and, taking a law into his hands. And that, so I think vigilante films, to a large extent, have reduced violence in the society because they've seen somebody representing them expressing that angst.
So, Sudesh, you don't want everything to be sweetness and light, obviously.
No, I believe cinema represents the conscience of the public, and if the violence in our films is sometimes cathartic, and it mitigates whatever we want to say. If we feel injustice is being done to us, when we see somebody fighting for us,
so one second. No, he's telling that violence for what? You have to look into that. That's the point.
Okay, can we just hold a minute? We'll just take a very short break, but we'll get right back to these points if we were on at.